Hello, my little creatures.
So before we even start this episode, right, let's set one ground rule. Before that, I'm Namrita,
And I'm Nick.
going back to setting the ground rule. So basically, what we need you to do is you have to suspend every piece of logic you've ever had, okay? Because today we're obliterating,
Oblip, obli- oblip,
obliterating
oblip,
the wall
the bloop
between
side?
science, folklore, and that buzzing, glitchy feeling.
Glitchy?
Yeah,
Glitchy?
glitchy. Okay, yeah, glitchy. Why is it
Glitchy?
glitchy?
I do not
Sorry,
know. Why would
glitchy
I know?
feeling you get when you make eye contact with something that shouldn't be real.
Because today's question isn't just weird, it's a full bloody spiral into the multiverse.
Bloody spider?
Did I say bloody? I meant full body spiral.
Yeah, that makes sense. What is bloody spider?
Like, what if, like, cryptids, like, all of them, like, aren't from Earth at all? Like, what if Bigfoot, Mothman,
What was that? She just hit me on my head while moving her hands.
Mothman, Dogman, why are they all named after like animals?
For those people who are clueless at this point, it's very obvious you do not listen to our previous episode, so please go do that. The previous episode we spoke about cryptics and cryptids.
Cryptids.
Cryptids, and that's kind of important for why we are having this whole Unreal episode. So please go listen to that and then come back here again and listen to this and then listen to the
Again.
next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. You get the point.
And before
And all the ones before this. So the before and the before and before the you get it.
yeah. Yeah. Like so the whole basically like the strange squad, like Mothman, Bigfoot, Dogman, Catman, no Catwoman, and like Balcony Uncle and like
What?
Eucalyptus Man.
Oh my
Like
god.
what if they're all actually interdimensional beings?
Yes, like what if they're not hiding in caves or lake bottoms, right? What if they're actually phasing in and out of our reality? Like intercosmic tourists. Honestly, it's like the worst Airbnb trip.
Yeah?
Think about it.
Oh yeah, you're coming on this earth. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
oh here's your like shitty piece of slice of life. Like and that would explain so much, right? Like why don't they have bones? Why do they just show up and go bye bye? Right? Like why do people's phones like stop working and like compasses their like magnetic thingy like they spin?
Magnetic thingy.
Yeah, because the earth's core is magnetic.
Yeah. I know compasses have magnetic thingies.
Yeah, they
In real
do.
life.
They
Yeah, I
do.
know.
They have a piece of
I
magnet
know they
inside
have
of them.
magnet. The thingies was a news to me. but
Yeah,
sure.
I why didn't you not know that? Like, and then like watches stop, and like people lose like their chunks of time, no, just chunks of time, like right after cryptid like sighting.
Were you trying to say sitting?
Shut up.
So it's not because they're shy woodland creatures. It's kind of because they're glitching through dimensions, dimensional membranes mainly. And guess what? If you believe in string theory, maybe quantum tunneling, or just simulation hypothesis, you've already opened the door for this. And we're just walking right through it barefoot and unhinged. I mean, when are we ever
I
hinged?
don't want to see your ugly bad foot.
It's funny when she says this when every day through our 24/7 she just sees me barefoot and suddenly it's just ugly for her.
24/7, you're at work.
I'm not 24/7, I'm not at work.
Most of the time, you're at work.
Yeah, but
So
not
you're telling me you're
24/7.
barefoot at work?
Why is barefoot such a big thing to you now?
No, are you barefoot at work?
No.
Exactly.
I cannot with you anymore.
And here's where and it gets even messier, right? So many cryptid sightings share high strangeness factors like lights in the sky, like static in the air, like sudden fear, or like nauseousness. Nauseousness? Nausea?
Nausea.
That thingy.
Yeah.
Telepathy, disappearing tracks, and like the feeling you're not just seeing something, you're being seen by something that shouldn't be there.
And not to like name drop, but that kind of sounds less like an animal, right? And way more like you know, being being that step sideways through a rift in space time and silently judging your carbon-based existence. I hope you feel judged.
When you're around, yeah.
No one's talking to you.
But
I was talking to people listening.
I feel so neglected. So, today's episode, we're throwing biology, zoology, and basic physics out of the window. This is Unreal Unsolved, Quantum Cryptid Edition, and we're going full chaos mode.
So we're not asking is Bigfoot real, right? Because that's just outdated. We're asking is Bigfoot even from here? Like, and if not, what else is slipping through the cracks?
And like this episode, we're gonna spiral into, like, spiral through a dimension. Do you get it?
You can make a worst puns compilation with her.
And you can make how many times I say like in one video. I say like a lot.
Can we move on?
Okay,
My
sorry.
compilation.
Sorry.
We
So,
still haven't moved on.
if you would let me move on, I would.
Why do you need 2 hours to stop one thing and
So
start
this
another
episode, we're
thing?
gonna like dive into interdimensional forest doors and like cryptid as interdimensional like watchers and multiverses overlaps.
Cryptids as interdimensional watchers?
Isn't it? It's like extra dimensional.
I think so.
You're crazy. And like multiverse overlaps and like creatures accidentally booting into our timeline, and whether like the Jersey Devil is just a guy from Dimension 47 on a really bad layover.
So buckle in. We're tearing through cryptozoology. I think that's a word. Theoretical physics and a healthy amount of sci-fi madness. And this is the most unreal we've ever gotten. I feel like we say this every time, but I think we're just getting worse and worse every time. So I guess it's kind of justified.
So, without further ado, welcome to Unreal Unsolved, the podcast where we dive into the eerie, the unexplained, and the downright bizarre.
Look at her taking away my things.
Like, because you didn't say it. Then we take it a step further by asking, what if reality isn't what we think? This is episode 12. What if cryptids weren't actually interdimensional beings?
Weren't actually? I think that's the opposite of
What actually? What if cryptids were actually interdimensional beings and are strange creatures just travelers from other realities?
And yes, like it's not obvious already, we are starting with Bigfoot. Because we think he's not just blurry, we kind of think he's interdimensional, guys.
And has really big feet.
I think
Or what
that's
if
where the name
Bigfoot really has like really tiny feet? We just
and
think
that's
he
why
has
he's
big
called
feet.
Bigfoot.
Like irony.
hmm But isn't it the reason the name Bigfoot came because they saw this huge Bigfoot print
Like
and they're like
print,
Bigfoot.
yeah.
So they thought they're like, oh my
But like
god, it's
what
so
if he was
small.
wearing like really tiny like huge shoes? Like shoes that didn't fit him though.
Okay, you know what? Let's not speculate,
Yeah.
right? Let's just move on.
Yeah, okay.
So we start with the king of cryptids, right? The MVP of mysterious hairy beings. The shadowy, the
Hagrid?
blurry. Yeah, like him. Forest dwelling icon who's kind of known as the Bigfoot. Now, why he's known as Bigfoot is we've already speculated in the previous segment, but let's move on to more important things.
Right, because this guy is seen literally everywhere, right? The Pacific Northwest, the Apach Apachal
Appalachian Mountains.
that thingy, right? Northern Canada, swamps, snowfields, even parking lots and golf courses. And somehow no one can catch him. Ever. Okay, so I really think this dude is Hagrid, like in real life. Because like what if he just got away in his really like
What
flying
if Hagrid
motorcycle?
is inspired by Bigfoot?
Okay, but what if Hagrid is Bigfoot? Like, okay, so Hagrid was gifted Sirius Black's flying motorcycle. What if he used that to get away? That's why you only find one or two prints.
That's true. But if Hagrid is real, then tell me Harry Potter is sitting somewhere or in his grave somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. You never know in another dimension.
No, necessarily not in his grave though. I don't think he'll be dead by now.
I don't care.
Okay, sorry.
So, of little Mr. Bigfoot Hagrid, we've got like blurry videos, massive footprints, and like shaky eyewitness interviews, but no fur, no no bones.
Bones. Okay.
Sorry, no bones, and like especially no poop. Like if you have such big feet, I bet you poop a lot. Like you like shit. You don't poop, you shit.
Oh my god, what is this turning into?
Okay, fine. Sorry. But like no bones. Like somehow like hundreds of sightings like have been spanning centuries, but no poop. I'm assuming his poop is probably bigger than his like legs, like his feet.
Right. So that's kind of our first clue, isn't it? If Bigfoot was just an undiscovered primate, we should have found something by now,
Like his
right?
poop.
A skeleton, a trail, a cave full of bananas. I mean, something.
Bananas?
But what if Bigfoot isn't hiding?
Why bananas?
I don't know. What do I think all giants like bananas.
Really?
Yeah.
I like not people, like bananas.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Oh, Bigfoot also kind of looks like a like monkey.
Yeah. So he likes bananas.
Yeah. Okay. But like, what if he's not even here full time? Like, it's just his part-time job.
Right? Like, what if Bigfoot is slipping in and out of a reality, just like phasing through dimensions like a cosmic commuter who got off on the wrong forest?
That's like this theory is so like surprisingly popular among people who've actually seen Bigfoot. Like, a lot of them report like high strangeness along with the sighting, not just like, oh wow, that's a big hairy guy. More like, I saw him, then he vanished, and like the forest went dead silent. My watch stopped working, and I lost 20 minutes and don't remember walking back, or like the air felt charged like electricity.
So let's connect that to quantum physics for a minute, right? So, according to string theory, there are multiple dimensions layered on top of us, right? And we perceive only three spatial dimensions and time. So, but there could be many more, which could be folded, which could be compact, or which could be invisible. So, what if Bigfoot doesn't live in our world? He just passes through it.
I mean, that is it could be real because our universe and like yeah, our universe itself is in a black hole.
Yes, which we found out recently.
Yeah. So like what if there's just a black hole inside our black hole which has other dimensions and we're yet to find them because we don't know what's inside a black hole.
Really good.
Yeah. And
Oh my god, what if each black hole is filled with another Earth?
hmm,
So
damn.
we're so busy searching for a living planet outside
Yeah.
while every black hole just has it
No,
inside.
no, outside we're not able to leave past our black hole.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's why each black hole has only one Earth in it. And that's why you can't find any more.
Maybe. Yeah, scientists a couple years ago were really like, "Oh my god, we have no idea what's inside of black holes." And then recently, it's like, "Surprise, it's us."
Yeah.
Um,
We are them. Them are we.
we are him. It's crazy. We're him. Um, and like Bigfoot just like stepping out of dimensions would kind of explain why he leaves like partial physical evidence. Like, yeah, their footprints, but like sometimes they just end like in the middle of like nowhere. Kind of like he walked into thin air, and if he like phased in, walked around, then phased out, the trail wouldn't go anywhere because he's just not there anymore.
And people also report seeing him glitch, right? Like there's a video flickering, or like reality is struggling to load him properly. Some witnesses even described him as shimmering or half transparent. Not a shadow, not a hallucination, more like a low frame rate jump between timelines.
And this theory would also kind of explain why every photo of Bigfoot ever is blurry. Like not because he's fast, because he literally exists at a frequency we can't fully capture. Like your iPhone can't photograph a being that's only 87% in this dimension. Like that's not bad photography, that's just physics.
All of you guys can feel better now. It's not bad photography. So let's talk about portal hotspots, right? So the areas where Bigfoot sightings happen way more often than the others, and the same areas tend to have other reports, like reports of UFOs, reports of missing time, shadow people, electronic anomalies, and sometimes other cryptids.
And that's not coincidence, that's a dimensional access point. Like some people think that rips, faults, or energetic weak points in reality, like places where the fabric between dimensions is thin, and creatures like Bigfoot, they probably know how to use them.
So even the Native American legends around Bigfoot kind of support this, right? Many tribes don't describe him as a regular animal. They describe him as a spirit, a watcher, or a being that comes from the stars. Not mythical in the fairy tale sense, right? But mythical in the we've been dealing with this being for generations and no, he's not from here sense.
And here's like another big thought bomb. Like, yeah, a thought bomb. How do we feel about that?
We're waiting for you to say it.
No, the word thought bomb.
We're perfect. Look, we've used it multiple times before this.
Okay, sorry. Um, what if we're the ones not seeing it clearly? Like, what if Bigfoot's always here, but our consciousness is too limited to perceive him unless like something momentarily aligns? And like maybe he's not phasing in. Maybe we're the ones who like temporarily glitch into his dimension and get glimpses before it resets.
So either way, this guy's clearly not a bear, right? And we're dealing with something that walks like a man, hides like a ghost, and breaks every rule of the animal kingdom.
So next time someone asks if Bigfoot is real, why haven't we caught him? The answer might be because he's not catchable, because he's not even fully here.
He's interdimensional, he's post physical, and we are definitely not ready for whatever he is. So next up, now that we're done with Bookfoot, now that we're done with Bigfoot, the next person we have on this list is Mothman. So you know him, you fear him, you saw him in your dreams at one time in 2011 and still don't want to talk about it. Or you just heard our episode last week.
Which you better have. So, we already know the basics, right? He's got wings, glowing red eyes, and a vibe so heavy it feels like a migraine wrapped in an anxiety attack. So, the big question isn't what Mothman is, it's why he shows up right before disasters and dips the second it hits.
So which brings us kind of to the most mind melting theory in this entire episode, right? What if Mothman is not a cryptid like we kept saying last episode? He's not a bird, he's not a man, but he's actually a multiversal observer.
Like imagine there are infinite like versions of Earth, and the Mothman is like one of the beings who can move between them. Like he doesn't cause disasters, doesn't stop them, but just watches them.
And people describe seeing Mothman just before things go wrong. The Silver Bridge collapse, Chernobyl, 9/11, Fukushima, and yes, we covered all this in the Unsolved episode, but we were being polite back then, right? Because today, we're kind of going full dimensional theory.
So what if Mothman doesn't just witness disasters? Like what if he's cataloging them? He shows up when timelines fractures, when reality shifts, when something in the multiverse like changes course. Like and for us it looks like a tragedy, but for him it's just data. He's like an accountant basically.
Which kind of explains why people describe getting sick, dizzy, emotionally unwell after seeing him. Because maybe your body isn't meant to witness an entity that isn't fully local. Mothman might
Entirety?
be
Entity?
entity, sorry. Mothman might be operating at a frequency that rubs against our dimension like cosmic sandpaper. Oh, I hate sandpaper.
So think about
Have you
how
ever felt sandpaper?
mm-mm,
Oh my
never.
god, I'll make you. It's so bad.
Yeah, so you hate it and you make me feel it.
Yeah, because you should suffer when I suffer.
Okay.
Isn't that like the one untold rule of sisterhood is you suffer when the other suffer?
Yeah, no,
It is.
no.
All your sisters can agree with.
So good. So, thinking about how people describe his eyes, like not glowing from reflected light, but radiating from within. It's not a
Who
biological
else? He just has torches in his eyes. Move on.
girl.
I'm sorry.
You can fix him.
Because my dad's a therapist.
Oh my god, Olivia Rodrigo reference, guys. Her dad's not a
Yes.
therapist. We
He's
wish.
not. He's not. He needs one for sure. He's not. Doesn't everyone's parents just need a therapist? I think they do.
I think
I think everyone in the world needs a therapist, and that's why therapists need therapists, because even they need therapists. What have you got into? Please
yeah.
move on.
Um. So like his tortured eyes is not like a biological trait. It's like an energy.
You mean torched eyes? What is tortured eyes? I thought you meant torture, like physical torture.
Didn't you say he's
Not torture. I said he has a torch in his eyes.
Oh,
Oh my
I made the joke that
god.
you could fix him because I thought he's had
No,
tortured
that
eyes.
doesn't really make sense, but I guess it's fine. I mean, you could just remove the torch from his eyes. I
I thought
said
you said
torch.
tortured
See, you
eyes.
said it's radiating from inside. So I think he just has eyes. He just has torch in his eyes.
Yeah, and I thought you said
No,
he's
I didn't
got
mean torture.
torture in his eyes.
No, I
That's why I
said
was like, oh,
torch in his eyes.
okay.
You see, we just two non. For people who figured it out before we did, yeah, there was no connection between the 2 points. But they were very solid points, okay? Everyone should go to therapy. Go to therapy. Says one who's not going. But anyway, go to therapy.
um, yes, says the one who isn't going is such a
I
major
said it.
point.
I said it myself.
My lord. So, the torch in his eyes is like an energy signal crossover, and like that's your like big billboard with 1,000 arrows pointing towards it, being like this being doesn't belong here, and your atoms know it.
So what if
Guys,
Mothman isn't
you should never believe an atom. They make everything up.
so what if Mothman isn't here? What was that laugh? I especially doesn't laugh like this normally. When the moment the recording is on, she goes crazy. So what if Mothman isn't here to be seen at all, right? What if every sighting is an accident, like a slip in the system? Like he was supposed to observe quietly from the other side of the dimensional glass, but then he leaned a little too close, and now 3 people in West Virginia are having a full psychic breakdown in 1966. If you hear the last episode, you know the 3 people we're talking about. Could be 4.
It was for
Yeah, it was 4.
yeah. Also, little fun chaosy fact kind of things like people often report like strange dreams and visions and even premonitions before like after seeing the Mothman, and that's not cryptid behavior, right? That's cross dimensional contaminations. Like you didn't see him, but you briefly connected to where he's from. Like, oh my god, imagine that like everyone in Mothman's universe actually has like constant nightmares and like premonitions and like strange dreams and visions.
And it kind of opens us up to the most terrifying theory of all, right? What if we're not supposed to see these creatures because they're not part of a narrative, right? Like they're from other stories, other timelines, other versions of Earth. Sorry, other versions of Earth, right? And when they show up, it's like 2 books momentarily overlapping on the same page.
Do you want to tell everyone what you're doing right now?
I'm sorry. So basically, have a turtle, okay, and
The really baby one, the really small
they're
ones.
really small, and he's not been eating. He or she, we don't know till he's 10, but he or she's not been eating for quite some time. And I just left like a cabbage, like a small piece of cabbage in the tank, because I'm like so tired of trying to force feed him. So now, as I was talking, he just moved towards the cabbage. I got really excited, so my mouth went, he's eating, and that's why the
Yeah,
whole disrupt happened. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
So, because I saw her like eyes open up like 10 centimeters at least.
Yeah, I was like, he's eating. And I was like, don't lose your trail of thought, don't lose your trail of thought. And now he's trying to climb on the rock. Oh my
Crazy.
god, I can just do this whole episode just narrating whatever's happening with him. Now he's trying to climb up 2 foot. Oh, he's made it. Come on, baby. Good job. Sorry.
Okay, so what if the Mothman is actually here to monitor reality and like integrating? Like integrity. So like a multiversal like glitch investigator, like he shows up where the simulation is breaking down, not because he wants to, but someone has to watch when everything collapses, right?
So, no, Mothman's not a flying monster. He's not even a warning. He's the witness. And when he appears, it might already be a little too late.
Ah,
So, let's talk about the cryptids that don't just appear and disappear. They kind of transform, right? The ones that don't follow any consistent biology, that just show up in human spaces, that mess with identity, fear, memory, and sometimes even language.
yeah. So we're gonna start talking about the animal oneies, the Goatman, Skinwalkers. I love Skinwalkers, Dogman, and crawlers, and whatever the thing that was in the forest that spoke in your mom's voice but wasn't your mom. Like, let's be real. These aren't like animals, they're like reality breaks in motion, right?
So let's start with the Goatman, right? So this guy appears all over the US, like Maryland, Kentucky, Texas. Tall, muscular, part man, part goat. Part why is it holding an axe? Like some say he's a government experiment gone rogue. Others say he's a demonic entity. But here's the weirdest part. A lot of Goatman sightings involve psychological confusion. People forget where they were. Their time that skips. People in groups suddenly lose track of how many people were with them.
Yes, and we brought 6 people into the woods, but now there's 7 and no one can figure out who the extra one was, like type stories, right?
Yeah.
And that's pure interdimensional overlap. The Goatman doesn't attack, he infiltrates and he breaks perception. Like he gets into your head.
And that's not a cryptid. That's a glitching avatar of something trying to change. Sorry, not change, but trying to observe reality from within and is kind of doing a bad job of blending in.
Same with like skinwalkers, right? Although we want to tread carefully here because this one's rooted in Navajo tradition and is not a myth to casually play with. But what we can say before the Skywalker like comes to get us is that Skywalker Lord usually includes like shape shifting, mimicking human voices.
One
This
second. You mean Skinwalker? What's a Skywalker?
did I say Skywalker?
You've been saying
Luke
Sky.
Skywalker.
You've been saying Skywalker for a couple times.
Sorry, I meant skinwalkers. So they can shapeshift, mimic human voices. They appear and disappear at impossible speeds, and they cause animals to act bizarrely. Hey, maybe your turtle's a skinwalker. Skinwalker. Hi, don't attack us. Don't kill us. Oh, he's climbing up the slope. Scary. And like they have an overwhelming sense, and like you have an overwhelming sense of being watched by something that's pretending not to be human.
And if you actually take that idea seriously of beings who slip between forms and can't quite hold their shape here, that sounds exactly like an entity trying to stabilize in the wrong dimension.
And some theorists believe that these creatures are like interdimensional echoes, like they're not fully here, so they borrow the form of whatever's closest available to like their like memory or energy, and that's why they appear as half like man, half beast, or like twisted version of familiar things. Oh my god, every single centaur is a skinwalker.
So now let's talk about Dogman, right? He's seen mostly in Michigan and the Midwest and described as a massive humanoid canine and
Canine.
canine. Sometimes upright, sometimes hunched, but again, always too big, too fast, wrong eyes, wrong behavior. And eyewitnesses don't describe seeing a big dog. They describe seeing something that was pretending to be a dog but didn't quite get the physics right.
So, what if all these shapeshifters are actually unstable projections? And, like, what if our reality has rules and where something from outside tries to appear here that has to simulate a form that we can process but it glitches? Oh my god, I'm going to try to say an entire sentence and not try to say the word like from next time.
Do it. So that's why so many of these beings cause nausea, confusion, time loss, and a weird sense of wrongness because your body knows something's off, right? And you're not just seeing a monster, you're kind of witnessing a disruption in the code of reality.
The big picture here. These cryptids might not like. Oh my god, I said like. These cryptids might not be mm, individual beings with agendas,
Oh,
right?
now, so like has become
Yeah. So they might be
or
manifestations of dimensional instability and living bugs in the software of this universe.
And when the wheel thins, wheel,
Whale.
whale. When the whale thins
But
at
not
night,
like the animal whale, like the spiritual whale. Like
or
that kind of
just a
whale.
whale you were doing a wedding, at
Okay,
night,
fine, sorry.
in remote forests, in places soaked in myth, they leak through. And when they go back, they kind of leave behind memory fragments, trauma, echoes. Trauma, not torch, trauma, echoes.
Torture! Torture! I said torture, you said torch.
Why are you screaming into the mic?
Because you're getting it
God,
wrong.
anger issues.
Because you're getting it wrong. You can't
And
talk.
you do go to therapy.
Okay. Okay, listen. Listen, I have nothing to say. It's because I say the word like a lot. No, it's not. Let's not get into it. And you can't talk about anger issues, Miss
I
Little
don't have
Lady.
anger
Yes,
issues.
you
You
do.
just piss me off constantly because you don't listen when I tell you to do something the right way and you don't do it the right way. That's not anger issues. That's being pissed off at you.
Some third person listening to this be like, why is she so messed up?
Ah, there's nothing about me that's right. I have the self-awareness for that though.
But not the solutions. Like, you know what you have to do, but you're not gonna do it.
Yeah, because it's just I already know what to do.
Girl, can you get back to the episode? Why is it
More
going
like a
so therapy?
therapy session.
I'm gonna go search
We're
up
promoting
therapies.
therapies.
Therapy, not therapies.
Yeah, any form of therapies.
Yeah, but that still falls under the word therapy.
Okay, can you at least move on?
It's your chance to move on.
My chance to move on.
Yeah. Is it my chance to move on?
I just finished saying something, so obviously you'll want to say something the moment I finish saying something.
What were you saying? Trauma?
Yeah, I spoke about echoes and trauma.
Oh, okay. So are we actually seeing creatures? Or like,
You can't do it, just forget it.
no, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it. Like, my God, are we seeing like? Oh my God, why are we seeing it?
I'm telling you, you cannot do it.
Okay.
I'm gonna put like shock therapy for you. So every time you say like, you'll get
Oh my
a
God,
buzz
please,
and then that'll
please,
stop.
please, please, please. I want to do that. Seems fun.
But it's not that. I don't know why you're making such a big deal. There are a lot of people in the world who just keep saying like, and it's okay.
I know, but I don't want to keep saying like.
It's okay. It's just you're finding words to describe. It's fine. It's okay.
I
It's
don't
not,
want to
it's not
say
a bad
it.
thing.
I just say it too
It's
much.
okay. It's just the way you say it. It's okay.
I do say it too much. Anyways,
It's
so
okay, my baby. My sweetie baby.
So, are we seeing places where reality has been so warped, like badly? Oh my God.
It's okay.
Where, like, something else kind of gets through?
Okay. So let's talk about cryptids that don't even have fangs, claws, or glowing eyes, right? Let's talk about the ones that are just weird. We're talking about the Fresno Nightcrawler or the caramel creature or those leg things
There's something
walking
called the caramel
across
creature.
security cams. The stuff that looks like it was animated by someone who's never seen gravity before.
I want a caramel creature. Does it give out caramel?
I
Is
don't
it
think
like
it's
pea
not
caramel?
it's not caramel, it's caramel. Caramel is
Oh.
CARA. This is CAR.
Oh, I was really excited there. I was like, it poops and peas like caramel.
And you read the caramel?
Yeah,
Oh
because
my
it's caramel.
God. Eesh.
This is
Oh
why
my God, that is so
without.
bad. That is so bad.
Oh yeah, but it's caramel. You're telling me if I just gave it to you and I didn't tell you what it's from, it wouldn't taste different.
It would smell different.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would.
No, it smell like caramel because it's caramel.
No.
You're crazy. So like these like things, they aren't beast, but they're not even scary in the traditional sense. They're more.
Did you say these things aren't beasts?
Yeah.
I heard taste like things aren't beasts.
Oh my lord. They're sort of surreal. Something that accidentally got rendered into 3D and forgot to bring a torso, and yeah, this, and basically said, yeah, this will do. I didn't say like.
But you just said it right now.
Okay, yeah, but to say I didn't say like.
But just I didn't say the word. The Fresno Nightcrawler, in the most iconic of these, right? Sorry, is the most iconic of these because he's caught on a home security cam in California in the early 2000s, and it's actually just two long legs, right? With tiny wavy feet, maybe a head, no torso, no arms, and no explanation. Just a weird white pair of sentient pants strolling calmly across a lawn.
And here's the thing, it wasn't running or hiding, it was just existing. It had like. It had like. Oh my god. They had no idea that it was supposed to be visible. Or maybe it didn't care. Maybe because we weren't supposed to see it.
But people love to mock this footage, right? They say, ha ha ha, pants ghost, or someone made a puppet. Okay,
Pants
sure,
ghost?
could be, right? But then more footage popped up from Carmel, Ohio. You see why it's called Carmel?
No.
So this is from Carmel, Ohio. And
Oh,
other locations at different angles, different camera, same exact creature. Long legs, no arms, no clear source, just walking.
and again, the most disturbing part is how chill they are, right? They're not attacking anyone, not stalking anyone, just gliding across space like they're late for a meeting in a dimension that doesn't require upper bodies.
So what if you're looking at a being that isn't fully designed to exist in 3D? What if it's bleeding through from a plane where form is fluid, physics is different, and bodies are optional?
Oh my god, that would be so fun. And like this ties into something called interdimensional geometry, and it's the idea that certain beings are shaped by the physics of their own dimension and not ours. So when they appear, their bodies kind of look wrong, and that's not because they're deformed, it's because we're not capable of interpreting them properly.
So that's why they move in ways that feel wrong, why their proportions are off, or why they don't cast shadows properly. We're trying to watch 4D cable on a 2D screen and wondering why it makes our stomach hurt.
And this isn't just Fresno. There's stories around the world of faceless walkers, limb-based creatures, floating torsos, and shapes with no explanations. They're not monsters, but rather fragments.
So what if this class of cryptids isn't even trying to visit us? What if they're leakages, like background processes, the clutter of other dimensions spilling into ours for a second and then sliding back like nothing happened?
So imagine you're staring at like your backyard and a weird glitchy pairs of white legs just walks past like it's buffering. You didn't see a ghost, you saw a code. You saw a dimensional debug a set render for like 15 seconds before phasing back to like its correct timeline.
And this raises a huge question, right? Like, are these beings intelligent? Are they even aware of us? Or are we just catching frame drops in the simulation?
And what if this case of cryptid isn't rare? What if like most of them just don't appear in light spectrums we can see? And what if these creatures are everywhere? We just don't usually have the right angle or energy or mental bandwidth for like to notice.
And that's the more unsettling thing about these ones, right? Like, they don't scare you because they're evil. They scare you because they make no sense. And that might be the biggest clue that they're not supposed to be in this version of reality at all. Okay. So we've talked about the Bigfoot phasing through forest timelines. We've dragged Mothman through the multiverse. And we've discussed how Goatman might be a bug in the simulation with legs and identity theft issues. But now, let's get weirder, right?
Because all of this assumes one crucial thing is that we can actually see the creatures we're talking about. But what if we're only perceiving the ones that we're able to perceive? And what if most cryptids aren't hiding, but they're just outside the range of human sight and like hearing and perception?
Our eyes can only detect a tiny sliver of the electromagnetic spectrum. Like, so our
Silver?
ears can only hear,
Like,
sorry, sliver?
I think that's the word. Like
Yeah,
silver?
sorry, sliver. So our eyes can, sorry, our eyes can only detect a tiny sliver of the electromagnetic spectrum, and our ears can only hear a limited range of frequencies. So because of that, there could be an entire ecosystem of interdimensional beings that are sharing this planet with us, and we'd never know unless they glitch or basically let us see them.
Sorry, I kind of just dropped my mic. Like, think about it, right? Animals can sense earthquakes before they happen. Dogs just randomly bark at corners. Cats stare at walls like they're watching something move. And babies just start up cry. They just cry at empty spaces. Like a reality filter just dropped for them and they saw too much.
So what if cryptids like the ones we talk about are just leaks, right? Just the visible ones. Just the error message in a much, much larger system of entities and presences that we don't have the sense or maybe even the permission to observe.
And that could mean a few things. One, we're basically goldfish in a bowl and every once in a while a hand reaches in. And we basically call it the Jersey Devil. Two, like some cryptids are just trying to communicate with us and they can only get partially through. Or three, and this one kind of like breaks my brain because what if some of these things are like us, but from an alternate reality? And basically, it's just slightly out of sync with our timeline.
Yeah, so that's like the real madness here, right? What if we only call them cryptids because they look wrong to us, because they're not following our version of evolution, but in their own version of Earth, they're completely normal.
So Bigfoot isn't a monster. He's just due from a forest-based dimension where apes got email and like humans never like happen. Like the Nightcrawler isn't an alien. It's a like citizen of a like dominant version of reality. And like the Dogman isn't a myth, but he's a fully employed insurance agent in his home like realm who accidentally blinked through our dimension on a like night job.
And when we do see these beings, those sightings might not be accidents. They might be intentional experiments, probes, dreamwalkers, dimensional ambassadors trying to see if we are smart enough yet to say, hey, maybe they're not from here.
But the fact that we always run away screaming or turn footage into a meme probably answers the question like their question with a not yet.
So the real takeaway, cryptids might not be there, they might be everywhere, all around us, just vibrating on a different setting.
That rhymes. Um, and when the veil gets thin during sleep paralysis, liminal spaces, and like forest trails at 2 a.m., roadside edges at dusk, we kind of get a glimpse. We see something we're never meant to see, and we call it a creature.
When maybe what we saw was a neighbor from the next dimension over. So, now this might be the most uncomfortable theory we've pitched today, okay? And that's kind of saying a lot because we just gave Bigfoot quantum walking privileges.
But what if, like, we're the cryptids? Like, what if the creatures we call strange and monstrous or not from here are actually the original residents of this planet and we're just the invasive species?
Think about it, right? So, human civilization, as we know it, what 10,000 years old, tops. But we act like we're the main characters of Earth, like we're the first intelligent things to ever walk this place. But what if there's an entire ecosystem of intelligent beings here before us?
And we didn't evolve from them, but they replaced, like, we didn't evolve from them, but, like, we replaced them. Or worse, we kind of overrode them. Like, we built cities and cut down forests and paved their sacred land with parking lots, and now they hide.
Bigfoot, not a visitor, a refugee maybe? Mothman, not a herald, a guardian. And Goatman, a protector of liminal spaces we don't respect anymore. They aren't attacking us. I think they're avoiding us.
There's so many places on Earth that ancient people considered sacred or forbidden forests, rivers, caves, mountains, and we just barged in with a bulldozer and selfie sticks and said, look, honey, a hiking trail. So, what if the reason cryptids are always in remote, wild, untouched places is because those are the last places where they can be?
And here's the kicker, right? So maybe they're not even, maybe they're not even hiding from us. Maybe they're hiding from what we bring with us: noise, vibration, technology, violence, the collapse of wheel, whale.
What if cryptids once walked this earth freely, out in the open, but when humanity's vibration got too loud, too chaotic, too third dimensional, they slipped out of the folds? Not gone, just folded back into the roots of the world.
Which means when we see them now, it's not because they're sneaking around. It's kind of because something about our presence is reawakening the old ones. And maybe they're not angry. Maybe they're just watching to see what we'll do.
And if this theory is true, cryptids aren't alien, they're ancestral. They're not stories, but they're survivors.
So let's go out with this big one, right? So we've talked about interdimensional travelers, like cryptids, dimensional fragments, shapeshifters, and beings that move like code errors. What if the reason all of it is What if the reason all of this happens here is because Earth isn't the normal one?
Yeah, like, what if Earth isn't just a planet in space, but what if it's a convergence point, right? Not just geographically, not just biologically, but cosmically. Like, built into the fabric of the multiverse itself, a place where realities intersect.
We assume other dimensions are elsewhere, above us, beside us, inside black holes. But what if the truth is way more intense? What if what if they've literally all just come here? Because Earth is this grand central station of the multiverse, a dimensional highway, a rest stop where timelines leak, universes bump into each other, and cosmic beings accidentally walk into your backyard while trying to get into dimension 54p, maybe?
This theory explains so much chaos we've just accepted as weird. Like cryptids that appear globally with different names but similar traits, UFOs and high strangeness overlapping with folklore and religious visions, people seeing things that make no sense biologically or physically, and like whole zones where everything just feels wrong.
Ley lines, ancient sacred suits, magnetic anomalies,
Ancient
vortex
secret
points,
suits?
sites, magnetic anomalies, vortex points. They're not just new age buzzwords. They could be interdimensional breakthroughs, weak spots where the walls between worlds stretch thin. And Earth might have more of these than anywhere else.
Because maybe this world is was just designed to host overlap, like a sandbox, like a testing ground, or like a neutral zone, a shared stage where multiple realities temporarily like coexist.
And that means creatures we call cryptids, Bigfoot, Dogman, Mothman, Nightcrawlers, they're not invading, they're not visiting, they're just passing through. Or they got stuck. Or they're studying us because we're the weird ones.
Which raises the idea, right? What if we're not supposed to be the dominant life form here? What if Earth originally hosted multiple types of sentient beings, each from different vibrational zones or timelines, and humans just took over, right? Like closed the doors, paved over the portals, and declared ourselves top of the food chain.
That could explain why so many ancient civilizations built megalithic sites on those energetic hotspots. Stonehenge, the pyramids, Machu Picchu, Göbekli Tepe. Maybe they weren't just worshipping the stars. Maybe they were anchoring the earth to keep dimensional chaos stable.
And now that these sites are abandoned, destroyed, or turned into tourist traps, the dimensional traffic is returning. These doors are reopening. And the cryptids, they're not new. They've just been waiting.
So let's go further, right? What if Earth is so connected that when people dream, they're not accessing their imagination, they're remote viewing alternate timelines?
What if mythology is just a shared memory of other realities that have passed through, like here? What if the reason many cultures talk about dragons, giants, horned beings, animal human hybrids, sky gods is because they were real here but temporarily?
So that makes cryptids kind of like leftovers, right? Or ambassadors, or survivors from other timelines who got pulled into ours when the whales rubbed against each other just a little too hard.
And here's the creepiest part. If Earth is a dimensional crossroad, that means we're not the only ones watching. We're also being watched by beings from other realities who come here specifically because we don't know what they're doing. And our confusion is data.
So maybe they don't always appear as creatures. Maybe some cryptids are even animals. Maybe they're invisible life forms or higher order intelligences who choose to appear as Mothman or Goatman or maybe a pair of haunted pants because it's just easier to process that than what they actually are.
Earth might not be a prison or a paradise. It might be a shared use zone. And the reason we keep seeing glimpses,
Like a co-working space.
yeah, basically. So, and the reason we keep seeing glimpses of strange creatures and hearing voices in the woods or watching things crawl across grainy security footage at 2 a.m. is because Earth isn't locked.
It's a doorway that kind of swings both ways.
It's a survey? Were you gonna say survey?
I was not getting doorway and I was like, it's not survey. But yeah, maybe it's a doorway. It just swings both ways, like a lot of us.
Like you?
No, no.
Okay.
Okay, so we started this episode asking what if cryptids are actually interdimensional beings?
And now we're here. Um, just having accused Bigfoot of quantum slipping through forest portals, called Mothman a timeline data analysis, theorized that Goatman is a reality virus, and suggested that Earth itself is a cosmic transit hub for beings across the multiverse.
So we did that. We said those things. And honestly, no regrets, okay? Because when you really step back and look at cryptids objectively, the facts don't line up unless you start messing with reality itself.
These things aren't acting like animals. They show up once, are seen by three people, break two laws of physics, mess with your watch, steal your sense of linear time, then vanish. That's not biology, that's dimensional misalignment.
So let's just review what we landed, right? Bigfoot might be a multi-dimensional hitchhiker. Mothman could be observing reality collapse across timelines. Shapeshifters like Goatman and Skinwalkers or Skywalkers
Oh my
might be
god.
instability avatars. The Fresno Nightwalker is probably not a cryptid, but a sentient pair of extra dimensional legs. And most creatures we can't see are just vibrating on a frequency we haven't invented goggles for yet.
Oh, and Earth is not a planet. It's rather more like Luke, I am your father. Or like Luke, you are a Skywalker. Why is everything just Luke, you are a blank? Huh? So, like, why is everything in Star Wars just Luke, you are a blank?
I don't know. I've not seen Star Wars.
Neither have I.
Why do you know it?
Because I've heard like,
How dare you?
hang! Oh my god, did you see that?
So can you go can you go back to what you're talking about Earth, please?
Okay, Earth is like a cosmic hallway, right? A dimensional airport where half of the terminals are haunted and the staff went missing in like the 4th century BCE.
Which leaves us with one final question. If we accept this theory that that cryptids are interdimensional, what do they want?
Maybe nothing, right? Maybe they're just passing through, or possibly they're just studying us. Maybe they're just as confused to be here as we are to see them.
Or maybe we're the cryptids to them. Maybe some scientists in another timeline have a bloody photo of you
A
walking
bloody
through.
photo of us.
Bloody, I said. Bloody photo of you walking through a parking lot and they're like, look at this weird little hairless biped. It's holding a rectangle that lights up.
Is that meant to be a phone?
Yeah.
Oh, so the point is that cryptids might not be myths. They might be like multiversal tourists or data gatherers or leakage. But one thing they definitely are, unreal.
And maybe the next time you see something in the woods or on the side of the road or hovering silently just beyond your comprehension, don't ask what is that. Ask what dimension did you come from.
This has been Unreal Unsolved, episode 12. What if cryptids were actually interdimensional beings? We have no answers, just portals, and one warning. If you see a creature that doesn't belong, it probably thinks the same about you.
So see you next time when we probably get lost in an alternate version of Earth where all pigeons are government drones and the moon is a decoy.
Until then, stay weird, stay watchful, and don't trust your local goatman. Bye!
Bye!